The car door opened, and Amanda stepped into hell wearing a borrowed dress and borrowed courage. She had 4 hours until sunrise. 4 hours to save a man she'd known for 48 hours. 4 hours to prove that trading your life for someone else's wasn't the stupidest decision a 20-year-old could make. Except it was. And she was about to find out that the most dangerous thing about walking into a trap isn't knowing it's a trap. It's discovering that the trap was never meant for you in the first place. Before we dive into what happens next, and trust me, you are not ready for what happens next, but I need to say something dear to my heart. Thank you. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much. Every single one of you who subscribed after part 1, who left comments that made me cry, who shared this story with people you love. You turned a story into a movement. Your comments like, "I'd trade myself too," and "Where can I find my Min-Seo?" and "This is the best thing I've ever watched at 3 a.m." You have no idea how much that means. We see you. We love you. And because of you, we're creating something special. A PDF collection of 100 love quotes that hit so hard they'll make you believe in true love without rage, without envy, without all the toxic stuff that ruins beautiful things. It's coming soon, and it's for you. Because you deserve love stories that heal, not hurt. If you want it, simply type, "Love is good" in capital letters. Now. Back to Amanda, who's about to learn that sometimes the person saving you is more dangerous than the person you're being saved from. If you're ready to have your heart ripped out and stitched back together in the same breath, if you're ready for twists that'll make you scream at your screen, if you're ready for the most intense 6,000 words you'll read this year, then let's go. Part 2 starts now, and nobody's ready. Nobody ever is. The warehouse smelled like rust and regret. Amanda's heels clicked against concrete as 2 men in black tactical gear led her deeper into the building. She'd left her phone in the car, they'd insisted, left her last connection to the outside world, to Kiara, to any possible rescue. She was alone, completely, terrifyingly alone. They turned a corner and Amanda's breath stopped. Min-Seo. He was tied to a metal chair in the center of an empty space, surrounded by industrial lights that made everything look like a nightmare. His face was swollen, bloodied, his expensive suit was torn and stained, his head hung forward, unconscious, but he was breathing. She could see his chest moving. He was alive. Beautiful, isn't he? Amanda spun around. A man stepped out of the shadows, and Amanda's first thought was, he looks nothing like a criminal. He was maybe 32, Korean, wearing a perfectly tailored gray suit that screamed old money and new power. His face was handsome in a way that made you think of expensive universities and trust funds, not gang wars and kidnapping. His smile was warm, almost kind. He looked like someone's rich boyfriend. Someone's future husband, someone's dad at a school fundraiser. He looked safe. That's how Amanda knew he was the most dangerous person in the room. "You must be Amanda Brooks." He spoke perfect English with an accent that suggested expensive international schools. "I'm Chen Park. Thank you for coming. Where I had a choice?" Amanda's voice came out steadier than she felt. "You always have a choice. That's what makes this interesting." Chen walked closer, hands in pockets, completely relaxed. "You chose to come here. You chose to trade yourself for him. That tells me everything I need to know about you." "Then let him go. I'm here. That was the deal." "The deal?" "Yes." Chen smiled. "But see, Amanda, I wasn't entirely honest about the deal. This was never just about him." Amanda's stomach dropped. "What?" "This was about you." Chen stopped 5 feet away. Close enough to be intimate, far enough to be safe. You see, I saw you first. At the dance competition, 3 weeks ago. You placed 4th, but you should have won. You had something the others didn't. Soul, presence, something that made me sit through an entire amateur dance competition just to watch you move. Amanda's mind was racing. I don't understand. I know. Let me explain. Chen gestured to one of his men, who brought a chair. He sat, completely at ease, like they were having coffee instead of a hostage negotiation. I saw you dance. I felt something I haven't felt in 4 years. I did my research, found out about your mother, your debt, your dreams. I made a plan to meet you properly, naturally, give you a choice. He paused, but then he saw you. Chen nodded toward Min-Seo's unconscious form. At that club, and he moved first. Took you upstairs, sent you flowers, played the obsessed gangster falling for the innocent girl. Very romantic. Very fast. Very Kang Min-Seo. You're saying... Amanda couldn't finish the sentence. I'm saying you were mine before you were his. He just got there first. The words hung in the air like poison. So this whole thing, kidnapping him, threatening me, the trade, this isn't about gang rivalry? Oh, it's about that too. Min-Seo and I have been competing for years. Taking him would be satisfying regardless. Chen's smile widened. But you, Amanda Brooks, you're not collateral damage. You're the prize. You always were. Amanda felt sick. I'm not a prize. I'm a person. I know. That's why I'm giving you what he never did. A choice. Chen stood, walked closer. Here's the situation. I'm going to let Min-Seo live, but you don't go back with him. You stay with me, willingly. Give me the chance he stole from me. Let me show you what your life could be like with someone who saw you first, who wanted you for you, not because you danced in his club one night and triggered his savior complex. That's insane. Is it? Chen's voice got softer. You've known him for 48 hours, Amanda. 48. You know what he's told you, which is only what he wants you to know. But I've watched him for 6 years. I know what he's capable of. I know the bodies he's buried. I know that every woman who's gotten close to him has either run away terrified or disappeared entirely. He said, I know what he said, that he'd never hurt a woman, that he'd burn the world down to protect you. Very poetic. But Amanda, if he really wanted to protect you, he wouldn't have pulled you into his world in the first place. The words hit like bullets because they were true. I didn't attack that restaurant, Chen continued. A rival gang did, one of many who want Min-Seo dead. That's his life. Constant war, constant danger, constant threat to anyone near him. Is that really what you want? Running from explosions? Watching him kill people? Wondering which day someone will use you to hurt him? Amanda's hands were shaking. And you're different? I'm strategic, careful. My enemies don't know you exist because I don't broadcast my weaknesses. Chen moved closer, close enough that Amanda had to look up to maintain eye contact. I can give you everything he promised, money, security, freedom from debt, without painting a target on your back. All I'm asking is that you give me the chance to prove it. 2 weeks. Same offer he made you. Except I'm not holding you hostage with guards and surveillance. I'm asking. By kidnapping the man Amanda stopped. Was about to say love, but that was insane. She didn't love Min-Seo. She'd known him 2 days. By kidnapping the man who kidnapped you first, Chen finished. Don't pretend you had freedom with him, Amanda. Those guards outside your hotel, that wasn't protection. That was a cage with a prettier lock. A groan interrupted them. Min-Seo was waking up. His head lifted slowly. His eyes, swollen, bloodshot, found Amanda. and something in his expression broke her heart. Relief. Pure, desperate relief. "Amanda." His voice was wrecked. "You came." "Of course I came, you idiot. You shouldn't have." He tried to move, remembered he was tied up and his jaw clenched with fury. "Chen, let her go. This is between us." "No, Hyung." Chen's voice stayed pleasant. "This stopped being between us the moment you took what I wanted. She's not yours to take. She's not yours either. But at least I'm giving her a choice." Chen turned back to Amanda. "So choose, Amanda Brooks. Him. Chaos, violence, passion that'll probably get you killed. Or me. Safety, strategy, a life where you're not constantly in danger. Choose wisely, because this is the only time I'm asking nicely." Amanda looked between them. Min-Seo, bloodied and tied up, looking at her like she was the only thing keeping him alive. Chen, pristine and calm, offering her everything she'd thought she wanted. And she realized something. She was so tired of men deciding her future. "I have a better idea," Amanda said quietly. "How about both of you go to hell, and I walk out of here alone?" Chen's smile froze. Min-Seo's eyes widened. "Excuse me?" Chen said. "You heard me." Amanda's voice got stronger. "You," she pointed at Chen, "are a stalker who's been watching me for 3 weeks without my knowledge, who kidnapped someone and is trying to emotional manipulate me into staying with you by framing it as a choice. That's not romance. That's psychological warfare." She turned to Min-Seo. "And you investigated my entire life, sent guards I didn't ask for, pulled me into your world without asking if I wanted to be there, and now I'm in a warehouse at 2 a.m. because your enemies see me as leverage. You said you'd never hurt me. Your world is hurting me right now." "Amanda," Min-Seo started. "No. I'm not done." She was shaking, but she kept going. "I came to Seoul for a dance competition. I placed 4th. I was supposed to go home, figure out my life, maybe finish my degree. Instead, I've been stalked, romanced, attacked, and now I'm apparently the prize in some gang rivalry I didn't ask to be part of." She looked at Chen. "You want to give me a choice? Fine. Here's my choice. Untie him. Let us both leave, and stay the hell away from me." Chen's expression changed, got colder. "I don't think you understand the situation. I understand perfectly. You think you're different from him because you use strategy instead of violence, but you're both the same. You both see something you want and you take it. You both think obsession equals love. You both think I should be grateful that dangerous men find me attractive." "Amanda." "Please." Min-Seo's voice broke. "And you." Amanda turned to him, tears streaming now. "You told me you'd never felt alive until you saw me dance. You know what? I haven't felt alive in 6 months. I've been surviving, working myself to death, watching my mother almost die. And for one night, one single night, I felt young again. I felt beautiful. I felt like maybe life wasn't just bills and exhaustion and fear." Her voice cracked. "And then you made me feel something else. You made me feel wanted, desired, like I mattered. And I was stupid enough to think that was enough. That feeling alive for 48 hours was worth risking my actual life." "It wasn't stupid," Min-Seo whispered. "Yes, it was. Because now I'm here. And I have to choose between 2 men who both think they own me because they saw me first or wanted me most or whatever the hell justifies this in your minds. Well, here's what I choose. Myself. I choose my life, my future, my safety. I choose to go home." Silence. Then Chen laughed. Actually laughed. "You have spirit. I'll give you that." He nodded to his men. Unfortunately, Amanda, you're not in a position to make demands. You came here to trade yourself for him. I'm accepting that trade. You stay. He goes free. That was the deal. The deal was blackmail. The deal was a choice. You chose. Now live with it. One of Chen's men grabbed Amanda's arm, and that's when Min-Seo moved. Later, Amanda would wonder how he did it. The ropes falling away like he'd never been tied at all. The way he moved despite being beaten and bloodied. The precision with which he broke the first guard's nose with his forehead, took his gun with his newly freed hands, and shot the lights out before anyone could react. Darkness, gunfire, screaming. Min-Seo's hand found Amanda's in the chaos. Run! They ran. Through the warehouse, Min-Seo somehow knowing the layout despite being brought in unconscious. Past crates and machinery, his hand iron tight on hers, pulling her forward when her heels caught on uneven ground. Behind them, Chen's voice. Don't let them leave this building! More gunfire, bullets sparking off metal. Amanda's scream swallowed by the noise. They burst through a side door into an alley. 3 black SUVs screeched around the corner, Min-Seo's men, somehow, miraculously. Get in! Jae-won was driving the first vehicle. Min-Seo shoved Amanda into the back seat, dove in after her, and they were moving before the door fully closed. How? Amanda gasped. Tracker in my watch, Min-Seo said through labored breathing. Chen's not as smart as he thinks. The SUVs raced through Seoul's empty streets, taking corners so fast Amanda's stomach lurched. Behind them, more vehicles appeared. Chen's men. A chase through the city, gunfire shattering windows. Amanda's scream lost in the chaos. Min-Seo pulling her down, covering her body with his weight and warmth and the smell of blood and expensive cologne. They lost them somewhere near Gangnam. Took 17 turns, 3 parking garages, and what felt like a near-death experience before Jae-won said, We're clear! Min-Seo sat up slowly, wincing. His face was a mess. His ribs were probably broken. He was bleeding from somewhere Amanda couldn't identify, but he was looking at her like she was oxygen and he'd been underwater for hours. Are you hurt? His hands were on her face, her arms, checking for injury. You're the one who's Min-Seo. You're bleeding everywhere. I don't care. Are you hurt? No, but... He kissed her. Desperate, passionate, tasting like blood and relief, and something that might have been love or might have been trauma bonding or might have been both. Amanda kissed him back because she'd thought she'd never see him alive again. Because adrenaline was a hell of a drug. Because for better or worse, this man had become important to her in 48 insane hours. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Min-Seo pressed his forehead to hers. I'm sorry. For all of it. You were right. I pulled you into my world without asking. I made you a target. Shut up and let me look at your injuries. They ended up at a safe house on the outskirts of Seoul. Not the compound. That was compromised. This was smaller, quieter, a place Chen didn't know about. A doctor arrived within 20 minutes, patched up Min-Seo while Amanda watched, still shaking, still processing that she'd been kidnapped and rescued in the same night. 2 broken ribs, concussion, multiple contusions, but alive. You should rest, the doctor said. I'm fine. Boss, I said I'm fine. Min-Seo's tone made the doctor leave quickly. Then it was just them, Amanda sitting on the couch. Min-Seo standing by the window despite the doctor's orders, looking at Seoul's skyline like it might attack at any moment. You should have left, he said quietly. What? When Chen gave you the choice, when I was tied up, you should have chosen yourself and walked away. Amanda laughed. It came out bitter. That's what I tried to do. Didn't work out great. I'm serious, Amanda. He turned, and his expression was wrecked. You were right. Everything you said in that warehouse. I did pull you into danger. I did make you a target. I was selfish and obsessive, and I convinced myself that wanting you was enough justification for risking your life. Min-Seo. I watched my father die because someone close to him betrayed him for money. I spent 10 years building walls so high nothing could get through. I didn't feel anything, didn't want anything. And then you started dancing and something in me woke up and His voice broke. I needed you, like air, like water, like something essential to survival. And I took you without thinking about the cost. Amanda stood up, walked over to him. You're right. You did all of those things. And if I had any sense, I'd get on a plane tomorrow and never think about you again. His jaw clenched. But I traded my life for yours tonight. And you know why? Not because I'm in love with you. We've known each other 2 days and that's insane. But because for 6 months I watched my mother dying and I couldn't do anything. I was helpless, useless. I couldn't save her with money or prayers or working myself to death. Tears were streaming down her face now. But tonight? Tonight I had a choice. I could save someone. I could matter. I could be the reason someone lived instead of the reason I was drowning in debt. So no, Min-Seo. I didn't do it for love. I did it because I needed to prove I wasn't useless. Silence. Then Min-Seo crossed the distance between them in 2 steps, cupped her face with hands that trembled, and said the most devastating thing Amanda had ever heard. You think you're useless? You're the only person in 10 years who made me want to live instead of just surviving. You walked into my club, into my life, into my empty chest, and you made me feel something. I've killed men. I've destroyed families. I've done things that should send me straight to hell. But watching you dance, that was the first time I thought maybe, just maybe, I deserved something good. And then you traded yourself for me. You, 20 years old, innocent, with your whole life ahead. You chose me, a criminal, a murderer, a man who should have let you go. So don't tell me you're useless. Amanda Brooks, you saved me long before tonight. The kiss that followed wasn't desperate like in the car. It was slow, deliberate, full of everything they couldn't say, his hands in her hair, her hands gripping his torn shirt. Both of them tasting like tears and trauma and something that might have been the beginning of actual love. They ended up on the couch, his arm around her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Neither sleeping despite exhaustion. What happens now? Amanda whispered. Chen won't stop. I embarrassed him, stole what he wanted, again. Min-Seo's voice was rough. He'll come for you, for us. So what do we do? Long silence. You go home. Amanda sat up. What? Tomorrow. I'll put you on a plane to Atlanta. Jaewon will make sure you get there safely. You go back to your life, your mother, your dreams, away from me, away from this. And you, I handle Chen, handle my enemies, clean up the mess I made. His hand touched her face. And maybe, if I survive, if I can make my world safe enough that being near me doesn't mean constant danger, I'll call you. Ask if you still want this. And if I don't want to wait, then I'm an even bigger selfish bastard than I thought, because part of me is praying you'll say exactly that. Amanda looked at him, really looked at him. This dangerous, broken, devastatingly honest man who'd turned her world upside down in 48 hours. She thought about Atlanta, her mother, Kiara, her normal life. She thought about Seoul, Min-Seo, Chen, the constant danger. She thought about what it felt like to trade her life for his, that moment of clarity, of purpose, of mattering. "I'm not leaving," she said. "Amanda, no, listen to me. I spent 6 months being responsible, being careful, playing it safe, and I was dying inside, not living, surviving, just like you. You think sending me away protects me? Chen knows who I am. He knows where I'm from. You think he won't follow if he's obsessed? At least here, with you, I have a chance. At least here, I'm not alone. You'll be in constant danger. I was in constant danger the moment you walked across that dance floor. At least now I know what I'm dealing with. This is insane. Everything about the last 48 hours has been insane. Why stop now?" Min-Seo looked at her like she'd just saved his life again. "You're sure?" "I'm terrified, but I'm sure." He kissed her forehead, gentle, reverent. "Then we do this properly. No more secrets. No more hiding. You want to stay in my world? You get to see all of it. The good, the bad, and the absolutely horrifying. Deal. And Amanda, if at any point you want out, any point, you tell me and I'll let you go. No arguments, no manipulation. I promise. I'll hold you to that." They fell asleep on that couch. Two people who should have never met, whose lives should have never intersected, who were probably going to destroy each other or save each other and wouldn't know which until it was too late. Amanda woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows and Min-Seo's voice speaking rapid Korean in the next room. She sat up, every muscle sore, and realized she was still wearing the red dress from the restaurant that felt like a lifetime ago. Had it really only been one night? One insane, violent, world-altering night? "You're awake." Min-Seo appeared in the doorway. He'd showered, changed into fresh clothes. The bruises on his face looked worse in daylight, but he moved like they didn't exist. "What time is it?" "Noon. You slept for 9 hours. And you?" "2. I'm used to it." He sat on the edge of the couch. "I ordered clothes for you, your size. Nothing too fancy, and breakfast is in the kitchen." "You know my size because you stalked me?" "Yes." "Still creepy?" "Extremely, but at least you're honest about it now." Something that might have been a smile crossed his face. "Come eat. Then we need to talk about Chen." Over breakfast, Western style because Min-Seo had remembered she'd mentioned missing American food, he laid it all out. "Chen Park runs the Black Dragon Syndicate. Smaller than my organization, but more surgical, strategic. Where I control through overwhelming force, he controls through information and precision. We've been rivals for 6 years, not enemies. We respect each other too much for that, but competitors? Until now. Until now. Now it's personal. He wanted you. I took you first. In his mind, I stole what was his. I was never his. I know. But Chen doesn't see it that way. His sister died 4 years ago. Abusive husband. Chen spent a year destroying the man before he killed himself. Since then, Chen's been..." Min-Seo paused. "Different. Colder. More calculated. And apparently, more obsessive than I thought. So what do we do? I've called a meeting, neutral ground, tomorrow night. Chen and I need to end this before it becomes a full gang war. And me? You stay here. Protected. Safe." "Absolutely not." Min-Seo's jaw tightened. "Amanda, you said no more secrets, no more hiding. I'm part of this whether I like it or not. I'm not sitting in a safe house while you two decide my future." "It could be dangerous." "Everything about you is dangerous. I'm still here." He looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. "Fine, but you stay behind me. You don't speak unless I tell you to, and if things go bad, you run. Promise me." "I promise." That was a lie. They both knew it. The neutral ground was a private room in a restaurant that served as Switzerland for Seoul's underworld. No weapons, no guards inside. Just the principals and anyone they chose to bring. Min-Seo brought Amanda. Chen brought no one. They sat across from each other at a table that probably cost more than Amanda's college tuition. Classical music played softly. Everything civilized, everything polite, everything a lie. "Thank you for coming," Chen said. His face was pristine. No marks from the warehouse fight. Had he even been there? Or had he let his men do the dirty work? "You kidnapped me and threatened my life," Min-Seo replied. "What choice did I have?" "You always have a choice, as does Amanda." Chen's eyes shifted to her. "Are you here willingly, or is he forcing you?" "I'm here because I want answers," Amanda said before Min-Seo could stop her. "What answers?" "Why me? You said you saw me at the competition, that you felt something. But there were other dancers. Better dancers. So why me specifically?" Chen was quiet for a moment. Then, "My sister loved to dance. Ballet mostly. She'd perform in our living room when we were kids. She was beautiful when she danced. Free, like nothing could touch her." His voice got softer. "When she died, I stopped going to anything dance-related. Too painful, but something made me go to that competition. And when you danced..." He stopped. "You moved like she used to, like dancing was breathing, like joy was something you couldn't contain even if you tried. I'm not your dead sister, I know, but you reminded me that beauty still existed in the world, that not everything was cold and calculated and strategic. You made me feel something besides empty. Is that so wrong?" "Yes," Amanda said firmly, "because what you felt doesn't give you the right to stalk me, research me, manipulate situations to get close to me, and kidnap the man I..." She stopped. "The man I care about." Chen smiled sadly. "You're right. But then, is what Min-Seo did any different? He investigated you, sent guards without permission, used his power and money to overwhelm you. The only difference is he moved faster. The difference," Min-Seo said coldly, "is that I gave her the choice to walk away at any point. You tried to force her." "Did you? Really?" Chen leaned forward. "Those guards outside her hotel, was that choice? Sending a dress in her exact size, was that choice? Or was it a carefully orchestrated seduction designed to make her feel special and overwhelmed until she said yes?" Silence, because he wasn't wrong. "Here's what's going to happen," Chen continued. "I'm going to leave Seoul for 6 months. Give you both space. Give myself time to process this." "But Amanda?" His eyes met hers. "In 6 months, I'm going to call you. I'm going to ask if you're happy, if you're safe, if he's kept his promises. And if the answer to any of those questions is no, I'm going to offer you an alternative, not as a stalker or a kidnapper, as someone who genuinely cares about your well-being." "You can't be serious," Min-Seo said. "I'm completely serious. Amanda deserves to know she has options, that she's not trapped, that if your world becomes too dangerous or too violent or too much, there's someone else who saw her value first." Chen stood. 6 months, Amanda Brooks. That's how long Min-Seo has to prove he's better than me. He walked to the door, paused. "Oh, and Min-Seo, the people who attacked that restaurant? I've dealt with them. Consider it a peace offering." Amanda was right. She's not a prize to be won. She's a person who deserves to choose her own future. Let's see if you can remember that. Then he was gone. Min-Seo and Amanda sat in silence for a long time. "He's right," Amanda finally said. About what? About the guards, the dress, the way you overwhelmed me. I didn't realize I was being manipulated because it felt good to be wanted that badly. But Chen's right. You didn't give me a real choice. You gave me a choice between being alone and being desired. That's not the same thing. Min-Seo's jaw clenched. What are you saying? I'm saying I need time. Real time. Not 48 hours of explosions and ultimatums. I need to go back to Atlanta, see my mom, figure out what I actually want versus what trauma bonding is telling me I want. And then, if you still want me and I still want you, we try this again. The right way. With real choices and real conversations and no guards I didn't ask for. How long? 6 months. The same timeline Chen had given. Min-Seo looked like she'd stabbed him. You're choosing him. I'm choosing me, finally. For the first time in a year, I'm choosing myself. Amanda stood. You said if I wanted out, you'd let me go. No arguments. Were you lying? Long, agonizing silence. Then, no, I wasn't lying. Then let me go, Min-Seo. If what we have is real, it'll survive 6 months. If it's not, then we both dodged a bullet. Literally. She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. Thank you for making me feel alive again, for showing me I could be brave, for... Her voice broke. For everything. Even the scary parts. Amanda. 6 months. If we're both still alive and still want this, call me. We'll try again. The right way this time. She walked out. She cried in the taxi all the way to the airport. She cried on the plane to Atlanta. She cried when she saw her mother at arrivals and collapsed into her arms. But underneath the tears, Amanda felt something she hadn't felt in a year. She felt free. Amanda was teaching a dance class at the YMCA when her phone rang. Unknown number. She stepped outside, heart pounding, and answered. Hello? Amanda Brooks. Not Min-Seo's voice. Chen's. I told you I'd call in 6 months. I'm a man of my word. I'm not interested. Wait. Just listen. I'm not calling to seduce you or manipulate you or anything like that. I'm calling to make sure you're okay. Are you? Amanda thought about the last 6 months. Finishing her degree online, teaching dance, therapy twice a week to process the trauma, her mother healthy and in remission. Kiara making her laugh until she forgot about Seoul. I'm okay, she said honestly. Good. And Min-Seo? Has he called? No. Interesting. Why is that interesting? Because I've been watching his organization from afar. He's cleaned up operations, gone semi-legitimate, reduced violence, stopped taking unnecessary risks. All the things that would make his world safer for someone like you. Amanda's heart clenched. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know that people can change, that obsession can become actual love, that sometimes dangerous men become less dangerous when they have something worth protecting. Chen paused. He's waiting for you to call him Amanda. He's terrified that if he calls you first, it'll be manipulation, that you'll think he's forcing your hand. So he's waiting, has been for 6 months. How do you know that? Because I know him. And because... Chen's voice got softer. Because I've been doing the same thing. Waiting. Changing. Becoming someone worthy of calling you without it being creepy. Chen, I'm not asking you to choose me. I'm asking you to choose yourself. But know that whatever you decide, you have options. You always will. He hung up. Amanda stood outside the YMCA, phone in her shaking hand, and made a decision. She called Kiara. Girl, I need a favor. How do you feel about Seoul? 2 days later, Amanda stood outside Club Azure, the same club where everything started, 6 months ago, a lifetime ago. She was wearing jeans and a Howard University sweatshirt, her natural hair in a simple ponytail, no makeup, no designer dress, just her. She walked in. The club was closed for renovations, empty except for one person. Min-Seo stood in the center of the dance floor, hands in his pockets, looking exactly like he had 6 months ago, dangerous, beautiful, devastatingly sad. He saw her. His breath stopped. Amanda. Hi. You're here. I'm here. Why? Because 6 months ago, I walked into this club and my life exploded, and I spent the last 6 months putting myself back together, figuring out who I am without debt or trauma or dangerous men making me feel things I'm not ready for. She walked closer, and I realized something. I'm not the same person who walked out of this club 6 months ago. I'm stronger, braver, more sure of what I want. What do you want? Amanda stopped directly in front of him. I want to know if you're the same person too, or if you've changed. I've changed. I've gone semi-legitimate, reduced violence, made my world safer, all for the chance that you might come back. Chen told me he would. Min-Seo's jaw clenched. Is that why you're here? Because he told you to? No. I'm here because I chose to be. Because for the first time in my entire life, I'm making a decision that's completely mine. Not for my mom, not for debt, not because someone's manipulating me or overwhelming me or giving me ultimatums. She took his hand. So here's what I'm offering. We start over. From scratch. No guards. No gifts. No overwhelming gestures. We date like normal people. You in Seoul doing your semi-legitimate business. Me in Atlanta finishing my degree. We video call. We visit when we can. We take our time figuring out if what we felt was real or just adrenaline. And if it's real, then maybe when I graduate, I come back to Seoul. We try living in the same city. We see if this works without the drama and the violence and the constant life or death stakes. Min-Seo looked at their joined hands. That could take years. Good. I'm 20. I have time. Do you? He looked up. His eyes were wet. I've waited 10 years to feel something. I can wait however long you need. Amanda smiled. Then ask me. Ask you what? Ask me what you should have asked 6 months ago instead of overwhelming me with roses and surveillance. Min-Seo took a breath. Amanda Brooks, would you like to get coffee with me sometime? Just coffee. No private suite. No expensive gifts, just 2 people getting to know each other. Yes, I'd like that very much. The kiss was different this time. Not desperate, not passionate, just soft, sweet, full of promise instead of urgency. When they pulled apart, Amanda laughed. What's funny? Min-Seo asked. I came to Seoul for a dance competition and ended up with a Mafia boyfriend who learned how to do normal. Semi-legitimate businessman boyfriend. Is there a difference? To the tax authorities? Yes. They both laughed. And somewhere across the city, Chen Park watched them on his phone, one of his few remaining surveillance systems on Min-Seo, and smiled. She'd chosen, not him, not Min-Seo's original version. She'd chosen herself first, then chosen Min-Seo's better version. Chen deleted the surveillance app, erased the last connection. Some obsessions you had to let go. Some women weren't meant to be saved or won or possessed. Some women were meant to save themselves and then choose who got to stand beside them. Amanda Brooks had done exactly that, and that made her even more remarkable than Chen had originally thought. 3 years later, Amanda Brooks graduated summa cum laude with a degree in dance and arts administration. Min-Seo was there, sitting next to her mother, cheering louder than anyone when they called her name. That night, in their shared apartment in Atlanta, he'd moved, made a life where she was, Min-Seo got down on one knee and asked the question properly this time. Amanda said yes, not because he'd overwhelmed her or manipulated her or given her no choice, but because he'd given her all the time in the world and she'd chosen him anyway. That's how you know it's real. When someone lets you go and you come back because you want to, not because you have to. Chen Park sent a wedding gift, a first edition book of Korean poetry. The inscription read, "To the woman who taught me that love isn't about winning. It's about being worthy. Congratulations." He never called again. Some stories end with everyone getting what they want. This one ended with everyone getting what they needed. And sometimes, that's better. That's it. That's the story. Part 2. The end. Or is it? Comment below if you want to hear Chen's story, because I have a feeling there's a woman out there who's going to teach him the same lesson Amanda taught both of them. Subscribe for more stories that will ruin you in the best possible way. And remember, you deserve love that chooses you every day, not just in moments of crisis. Until next time.